Hello and welcome to the Becoming a Jolly Soul podcast. I'm Katie.
And I'm producer Stu.
Hi Stu.
Hello.
So today we're going to be talking about kindness and how that has an impact. So I've got a quote here from the Jolly Soul Insta, which is, kindness that will change the world starts with you. So kindness that will change the world starts with you. And I think for myself, when I was writing that, and what I've noticed about kindness and my whole journey with kindness, like, people think that they're kind, and I think I used to think that I was really kind, and to a degree I was kind, but I feel that you can always be kinder, and I think that the more kindness in the world, the nicer the place, like this place, would be. Yeah. Like, it would have a massive impact on the world. And I think it's interesting, like, I think for myself, I learn about kindness a lot more through my daughter, like Lola, especially Lola. She, you know, we taught her to be kind. We taught her the value of kindness and what that's all about and what that means. And then it's really interesting that, like, along the journey that I've, like, learned about kindness even more from her, where, you know, like, certain things, you know, I remember we went swimming once and she'd been sort of dunked under by some boys in a swimming class, and the lady on the reception there had said, you know, just give him a jab to the ribs, you know, next time. And, you know, that's what the majority of people would accept, you know, and would say, well, yeah, you know, they shouldn't hurt you, you know, dig him in the ribs and they won't do it back, kind of thing. And, you know, her response to that was, well, why would I want to do that? Because that's not kind. That would hurt that boy. And it's so interesting how, you know, even though she was in some sort of distress, she still, no matter what, didn't want to make any distress on anyone else. And I just thought that was the most beautiful thing, you know, and she's said things like that before, and it kind of always touches my soul in a way that's just incredible, you know. And so for that, I think for that beauty of kindness and being able to see it, I think that's what's really special about kindness, that in every act of kindness that I see now, like, it has such an impact, and I can feel it, like, really deep within my soul. And I hope that, you know, by expressing that and talking about it, that other people might be able to have that journey themselves. You know, and I think, you know, one of the things that I know about myself with kindness is that, like I said, you know, I used to feel as though I was really kind myself. And I think this goes back to kind of thinking and thoughts and kind of protecting yourself and how your ego works. But it's like, if I think back, I know that there was times where maybe I wasn't as kind, and I didn't always act with kindness in every scenario, or as much as I possibly could. And kindness isn't just about being kind to everybody else. Like, kindness is about being kind to yourself as well. Yeah. But I think, yeah,
it starts with you.
Yeah, so. Definitely. But I think in terms of where, with kindness and sort of what I was going out and doing when I was younger, I guess it was like choices of kindness, and at times when you were kind, and also I had to kind of learn that when I did everything with kindness, when I was actually doing things with kindness and always trying to put that first, life felt better, and I made better choices that I could deal with and that I could live with myself. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, for example, if I was going out and I knew that everything started with a kind act, as in, like, the right thing, or, you know, a loving thing, rather than like, well, you know, I don't like the way someone's behaving. You know, most people, and I know that in my past, I would often start with, like, that negative place and that mindset of, like, you know, I don't like what they're doing. And then you're kind of involved in that rather than actually thinking, well, what's the best thing to do in this scenario? What's, like, the kindest thing to do? And I think, honestly, I know this sounds crazy, but honestly, Lola, like, our daughter, has genuinely helped me with that understanding that no matter what, you start with kindness, because you're making that impact. You're going out into the world with kindness, if you see what I mean. And so, yeah, I think I think the main thing that I've learned about kindness is that if you're stepping out with kindness, that generally 9 times out of 10, your actions will be good, and your actions will be something that you can then live and deal with. Like, I know it's easy to get hooked up and sort of lost in, you know, like how, like a situation or how difficult something might be, or, you know, like if somebody's done something wrong to you, you naturally want to like be unkind, don't you?
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, just touching on Lola's kindness, the thing she does it at football. Like when she plays football, she'll stop if a boy's on the floor or a girl. She'll instantly stop play, even though the play's carrying on. She'll stop to help that little boy or girl if they've injured themselves, and you know, would have no kind of, you know, she has no thought of the impact of what's going to happen around her. She just is in that moment going, there's something.
That's the right thing to do in that moment. Yeah. It's a really beautiful thing, isn't it?
It is, especially when there's parents going, no, keep going.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, but that's the natural.
And right or wrong, I think for me, you know, when I see the way that she behaves and the way that she is in life, I just think, wow, I want to be like more like Lola. And she's literally 7 years old. But I think the thing about that is that she's not like tainted by the world. She hasn't learned too much about bad things or bad situations. And just going to that kind of situation that happened at swimming, you know, how the lady on reception said, just give him a dig, this kid. It's interesting, isn't it, that, you know, maybe we can all be a bit better in terms of even parenting and you know, does harming another person, yeah, fair enough. Like, if, you know, I'd never want anyone's child to be in a situation where they don't feel like they can physically respond if they're in a dangerous situation. That's you know, it's not about that. But it's like how we respond or what we teach our kids is really important, because that then has an effect in the world. That then goes out into the world and has that ripple effect, doesn't it? So it starts with like every message we tell our kids. It starts with the acts that we do ourselves. And I think, do you know what? Like, I mean, one of the things I've seen in myself is karma. And I think, you know, no matter what your beliefs are, you know, what you can, you know, people say it, don't they? What you put out, you get back. And I don't think you should ever be kind to get kindness back, but it is kind of the byproduct of what genuinely happens. You know, when you're in that good place and you're doing good and you're putting good out, then good things do generally happen and come back round. And I know that obviously there's going to be like devastating situations that happen, and we can't explain that sort of stuff. You know, there's nothing that does, but I think, you know, there is those just wonderful moments that tend to come back when you're doing and you're putting out that good energy. And again, that comes back to the energy, doesn't it, of like your soul and what your vibe is, you know? It
seems to stop people being kind. And I read something similar on this, and it was, you know, one person was upset because they were putting out kindness and love to this particular person or friends, and they wasn't getting anything back. And she said, well, you know, why would you get anything back? And it was like, well, I'm a good person. I put love out all the time. And they were like, well, that's all that. If you put it out there, you will get it back. Not if it's not from that particular area, but definitely in the other areas of your life will be back at you. So don't be disappointed for anyone who's putting love out there and kindness, and you're not receiving it. You will receive it in other areas of your life, not just if it's a partner or a loved one or friends or family. It'll be in every little area of where you'll be in part of your life. So yeah, just remember to be as kind as you can. I think
as well, it's like making sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. That's kind of the response of that I would have thought, which is, you know, don't do it for anything that you're going to get in return. Do it because you genuinely want to do it. Like, I think there's been times in my life where I feel like, you know, I might have done something kind of out of guilt.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of people live with guilt, you know, how things maybe should be, or, you know, they've got these expectations of life, and, you know, when it's not met, like, oh, well, I need to be like good, or I need to be nice to this person or that person, or what might they think, and And I think what you've got to try to always remember is that kindness needs to feel good to you as well as what you're doing. I don't feel like kindness should be like a ridiculously difficult sacrifice, because then I don't know. I don't think that's what kindness is, and love, and what feels right. I always think like what feels right, what then is right, and that those things that don't feel right, like question them, understand them. Why doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? What is it that's changing in you to make you feel bad in that moment? And think about that. And if it's that, oh, well, I've sacrificed this or that, or I didn't want to do that, then perhaps it's not right in that moment. So I hope this has given you sort of an understanding about kindness, our journey with kindness, and ultimately, let's all be a bit more like Lola. Be more Lola. She'll love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, peace and love, guys. Lots of kindness. Keep spreading the kindness, and we'll see you on the next episode.